October the 4th, 2022. Guys, a quick video heads up. We've got an incoming solar release, and it was caused by a filament, and it is Earth facing definitely, and those are the ones that are dangerous. Now, the sun, I'm kind of pausing this, has been very active. We had an X-flare on the 2nd, grazed Earth today. I knew it wasn't going to be a direct hit. No major events such as earthquakes. Now, the auroras were very active from what I've seen on space weather. But here on the 4th, notice October 4th, we get one that's blowing up from the top right there, and then one at the bottom. The one at the bottom is this one. Now, we're looking at Earth-facing images here from the Solar Dynamics Observatory. And this image of the sun, if you draw a line across the middle of it, the Earth is more in the southern equator. That filament that you just saw, and there's the X-flare from the 2nd, but below this line is the southern hemisphere, and the Earth is not in the ecliptic exactly with the sun's equator. It is south of there, and so is this filament release. These are the most dangerous ones that I've seen. You can get the very strong 8s. We've seen it in Alaska twice or maybe 3 times in the last few years. But what I call that ghosting, or this shadow that's left across the sun, is going to be impacting our planet. Now, they have not released a CME tracking on it because it just happened. As soon as they do that, I will come in. It usually takes a couple of days for one of those to reach us. You're going to have that flash, that ionization in the upper atmosphere. But, guys, again, when they release that information, I'll let you know, usually 24, 48 hours. We have a 70% chance of development just about to come into the Caribbean. Looks like it's going to hit Central America, maybe go into the Yucatan Peninsula. The storm is, it looks like it's cycling to me. Yesterday it was not as impressive as the day before. Now today it's tightening back up. Again, 70% chance. And there it is in the very center of your screen, as we go through there. Check that out. Again, yesterday it looked a little more ragged, but today it seems to be tightening up, and that must be why they increased it from 40 to 70%. The one behind it is going into the North Atlantic. It will not affect us. Now, this one, more than likely, again, will go into South America or either the Yucatan Peninsula and slow down. The top is the purple line. That's the Navy model, and not the very bottom one, but this one, the green one, the Canadian model, shows it dipping down west of, or east of San Salvador and becoming much weaker. The Navy model is totally different. That's the purple line. It shows this thing becoming a major hurricane, much like that we just saw with Ian. Same pressure levels, same size. But this is the Navy model. Check it out. It hits the Yucatan October 12th. Major storm. Watch how it quickly goes from blue to the purple. And that is low pressure. That's a powerful system. Right there is as far as the Navy model takes theirs. Will it go north from that? The Canadian model suggests it. But now the Canadian model is going to dip further south and not hit Jamaica. Watch this. Right in there, guys. Jamaica, if this thing stays with the Navy model, you're going to be on the wrong side of the storm, and we have listeners there. So be prepared. That is October the 9th, which is 5 days away. But you'd have to be prepared probably around the 8th for this thing coming in. It's going to be strengthening in these warmer waters. We'll also take a look at the the Canadian model. And that will show that northern turn after this thing comes back into the Gulf of Mexico. But that's a very powerful storm for you guys. Cancun, that area, all along the Yucatan. This is a Canadian model. It's tracking further south. Jamaica, you're not under the gun, except maybe some higher winds and maybe some larger waves, depending on the strength. And we know, Ian proved it, that these storms will, if they get that strong, they have a mind of their own. You see the northern turn there from the Canadian model. And so the one lesson we learned with Ian, and now they've recovered over 100 bodies. And by the way, what's not being reported is that it came across the citrus areas of Florida. And what's left is going to be jacked up in price so high you probably can't afford it. Now, taking a look at this, if it stays further south, that's good for everybody except South America, but that will slow the storm down before it gets into the Category 4 or 5 speeds. So with Ian, we knew that it was going to be strong. Looked like it was going to come up into Mobile, back over towards Pensacola a little bit, South Florida, Tampa. Then it comes up and does that notorious right turn into Fort Myers. We've talked about that before. Guys, they're probably going to categorize this as a Cat 5 at impact, just the way they did Michael. Some are already mentioning that, the Cat 5 devastation that we saw, and it is unbelievable. It will take months and years to restore that area. And I know I talked to one of the local linemen here for Southern Pine Electric in Mississippi, and they headed out yesterday. Several crews, I think maybe 30 states or something like that, are sending folks. It's that bad, and they're going to be there for a minute. But again, we got this storm. We've got time to watch it, time to plan. You guys in the Caribbean and all will watch it. Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, Dominican Republic, all of you guys watch this storm. But that solar explosion, again, that's the ones you really have to watch. And the sun is getting active again. 2 days ago, a X-flare, Category 1X, but it was to the right just enough that, again, I knew that it would be a glancing blow. It did, again, struck the earth. We had some 5.0 quakes. This one coming in could be different. But until we get the CME tracking information on the time of impact, things like that, and it will show the strength, we won't know exactly where this thing will hit at. But as soon as I get that, we will update it, guys. Again, I'm really busy right now. Matter of fact, we're kind of winterizing, getting a little extra shed built for hay and tractors and stuff like that. So that's what we've been doing. That's why the videos have not been coming as fast as sometimes they do. But we're watching this, guys, and any updates on either one of these will be put up immediately. It's a heads up. Be safe.